Hello, I'm out here at Anthony Elementary today with our Senior Executive Director, Barb Dobbins, who has helped to coordinate our facility tour this week. We are on day 2 and continuing out through the afternoon. And the purpose of this tour is to show our community the challenges that our schools are facing every day for our students, right? Yes. The conditions that we're challenged with. And I think that more and more of our community, Barb, are learning that nearly half of all of our buildings are 50 years and older, and about 78% are more than 30 years. And I think, again, as community members have come into the building, they realized a lot of it's in the original condition, the challenges with access to restrooms, the aging pipes, HVAC systems, and what we need to do and the dollars that we have available. So I'm going to let you share what we have behind us and what we see here at Anthony and some of the other challenges.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Gullett. So yes, here at Anthony began as a school in the late 1800s and was ran by the Board of Trustees for the Anthony local community before they handed it off to Marion County Public Schools, where this school has been an elementary school and a high school as well. Some parts of the school are original to that 1895 timeline. Behind us we have the now current cafeteria that used to be a gym that had significant damage that was replaced in the early 2000s at over $4 million worth of repairs. But you can also see behind us that we have a structure that is crumbling. Literally, you're looking at least an inch worth of a crack in the building due to the shifting soil and things like that. And that jeopardizes the equipment that's on the other side of those walls, and also just poses a risk to our students that navigate this area.
And we've also been seeing throughout the tour, I think, which has surprised some folks, that we have not had covered walkways in most of our schools. So when there's inclement weather, students are adversely impacted, staff are impacted, impact to learning. So let's talk about portables and what that looks like.
Absolutely. So we own approximately 336 portables across Marion County at every school. And every school has the same issue of no covered walkways, because portables are in place to truly be temporary. But because of the lack of funding and the growth and so forth, they definitely become permanent structures. We have portables in use that date back to 1968. DOE, Department of Education, puts a lifespan on portable of 20 years. And by June of 2025, all 330 plus portables of ours will age past 20 years old. If we were to replace every portable in Marion County, it costs us over $62 million. However, we do have around 240 plus portables used for instruction, meaning that they have students in them throughout the day. So if you take a moment in time during a regular instructional day and you look at the class size that those portables hold, you're looking at 4,000 to 6,000 students in a portable. And being in Florida, where the weather can change very quickly and very significantly, oftentimes we get those tornado warnings and watches, and that means that anyone in a portable has to be relocated into brick and mortar. Many times they're in the hallways, they're in the media center. If the cafeteria is empty, they're in there. But the biggest thing is they're losing instructional time, because we know that severe weather watch can last hours sometimes. And without covered walkways, as you can see here, on any rainy day, our students and our staff are walking through rain, and that's just not what we need for our students.
Yes, thank you for
our staff.
Thank you, absolutely, and thank you for sharing that. So I've been talking about this perfect storm, and we have one piece, which is our growth, and we're working to try to address the growth. And then the other piece is the maintenance. You've mentioned portables, but really in our brick and mortar buildings, those challenges that we were talking about a few minutes ago are great. And all we have for funding, because we no longer have PICO dollars, those concluded in 2019, which came from our landlines from the state. But we just have our 1.5 millage, which is roughly about $25 to $30 million a year. We haven't had impact fees for that growth component for 13 years, and we haven't had sales tax dollars for 15 years. So we're left with a very small pot. let's talk about the impact to what we're seeing in our buildings this week and how that has restricted us from maintaining buildings to keep the lights on in all the classrooms properly, to have proper access to facilities like restrooms and air condition running, and what that has done to the learning environment.
Yes, so as you mentioned, this is a twofold problem. So the growth in Marion County, as we've talked about before, has gone up 9% in the last 10 years. And anyone can drive our roads and see the growth and see the buildings and so forth. So just this year, to handle the growth for next year, we're projected to spend approximately $2 million just in portables, just to either relocate a portable or lease a portable, just to be able to triage the significant growth in our community. However, as you mentioned, we have 48% of our schools over 50 years old, and over 75% of our schools over 30 years old. And because our revenue stream is so limited, that $30 million you talked about, that $30 million also pays for our buses. It pays for our debt service. So when we do draw a loan, we have to pay that loan back with interest. So it comes out of that funding as well. Our property insurance, which it was over $2 million this year, comes out of that pot of money. So once you strip that pot of money down, it leaves you very little to do anything with. And in fact, a typical HVAC system for an entire school can run anywhere from $6 to $12 million. And so you're really looking at the ability to barely keep lights changed out, the ability to keep the air running smoothly by only averaging about one HVAC replacement a year for a school. And we have 50 schools and soon to be adding more.
Right. So we can't fund most of the maintenance items that are needed. I heard a principal share earlier this week that she has 300 work orders, but share how many work orders we have a year.
We do over 2,400 work orders a year, and 20% of our maintenance is funded. That means 80% of our maintenance goes unfunded every year and is deferred.
80% is not funded. So at any moment, those pipes could burst and the HVAC systems could go out, and we may not have the money to do that.
That is
to
correct.
replace that.
That is
so
correct.
We're going to be sharing more from our tour this week, and we are very grateful to have everyone come and see and support our schools. Thank you.
Thank you.
But there's no covering to go from here to there. So we're constantly trying to get umbrellas down here to them, or making sure they have them in there. This right here, we may come in when the weather change is over, and we may come in and we have a floor full of white stuff all over the floor, what have you.
But you know, it's not that we're falling apart, it's that we're growing and we're trying to house the student population that we weren't built to house.
to see some space that reflects the pride we have for our school. We'd love to be able to give our students all of the things that we want for them and the facilities that we know they deserve. Full-size toilet. There used to be a child-sized toilet in this bathroom. We have a newer vanity we just got last year. So this is the one restroom available for visitors to use, and students have to use it at times as well.
Thank you for joining us on our facility tour this week. I wanted to do tours because I thought it was important for our community to see the challenges that we're facing and that our students deserve better. Thank you to all of our school teams for all the great job you've done and showcasing all of the opportunities that we have for our students and our staff. And thanks to all of the time that our team has spent in our facilities department to showcase what we're doing to help improve the quality of education for our students. Thank you for joining.